All right, day 3, we're going to finish arranging this track, add all the little background effects, and then we're going to mix it, and we're going to master it, and get it finally ready to go and ready to release. So we got our arrangement here, although if you look, it's pretty much just the basic elements. Like, we got our drums, we got our bass, we got our pianos and stuff. We don't really have, like, a lot of transition effects and stuff. And, this is a genre, you need a lot of that stuff. So let's go ahead and add some of that throughout the track. What we're going to do is we're going to start with, let's just grab a 909 crash to begin with, right? I'll get crash 909. All right, so we got that. And yeah, we need a few of these little transitions, like that. All right, so that one's cool. I think over here we can make it even more heavy. Like, we could just copy that, and then we could make it like the whole way through doing some stuff, maybe like that, and then there it'll go like. Great, and then we can also put that a little bit during the drop. Like this one, I think, would go nicely over here, and it can also go there. It can also go in this intro too, like maybe one there, maybe one there. And then we can copy this to this build right here. But we're just going to do that. Alright, there we go. And usually you're going to keep this pretty dry. Maybe you could do like a little bit of filtering or a little bit of reverb, but ultimately, you don't want to put too much on your crash. I think a little bit of reverb will be good. Great. Now we also need a few more transition effects, right? So I'm going to go back to our Ultimate Hard House and let's get some stuff out of here. Like there's a bit. Okay, so we can take this. First of all, we can make like a build up with this, right? Because what we can do is we can just kind of have it here. Right, but it's going to have some effects on it. So like it'll have a bit of reverb, which will get rid of the lows. So we'll get that, do like a dry wet, maybe it starts there. Right, so it just sort of disappears, and then we're also on that going to have a little high pass filter as well, helping it disappear. And then I'm also going to get this auto pan, which is going to make it sound sidechain. Nice. Let's copy that for the other break or the other drop as well. And then I think now what we are going to need to do is we're going to get some noise. I'm going to grab operator. We're going to switch it to noise white, bandpass filter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have basically like in these breaks, just go all the way down. So we'll just make a long note, right? It's going to go, the filter is going to go from there. And then maybe we can go back up a little bit over here. And then it's going to go back up. Nice, and then we can make some little transitions with this too, because we can just put in another long note, and then like a filter sweep. Like this. Right, and then also let's go ahead and get this side chained as well. We'll just copy, or we'll just grab a compressor, get the kick, and then, yeah, side chain with the EQ on the high pass. Some reverb, a little bit of a high pass filter at the end, and then let's see where do we need to put this throughout the track. Like, for example, we need this to go over here. And we need one of these here too. And while we're at it, I'll grab the crash. Okay, so you can see we're just kind of filling this out a bit more. Let's put another one of these over here. And then maybe one right here. Cool, so we got our effects now. You know, we actually have stuff kind of moving throughout the track. If you wanted to, maybe you could put a few more little like random sounds here and there that just happen maybe once, you know, to make it a bit more exciting. In the interest of time though, we're gonna move forward to the mix down. Now, already, if you're at this stage, you know, your mix down is mostly done. But there's a bit of fine tuning to do, because I think like if you listen, obviously the balance isn't that out of whack, but it's not balanced properly. Right, so what I usually do to solve this is I'll just go ahead and turn off everything except for the kick and the bass. So we go ahead and turn all these off, turn off all this other stuff as well, just for now. Right, and just kind of get this good. Then we just move up and just start getting the main drums. You know, I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of low end out of this. This is essentially how you do a mix down. Is you just start with the kick and bass and work your way up. Let's hear this one. Yeah, that one sounds good. That's just in the break there. Same deal with these. And then we can start to get some melodic stuff. See, these need to come up. This is also when all these little background elements, you can actually check and make sure, like, are they the right volume and stuff. And it's just using your ears. I'm just listening and just trying to balance these, right? It's nothing really too hard. We can move up to this thing. And I honestly think this thing could use a bit of stereo width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an audio effect rack. We're going to make 2 chains. We're doing the Haas effect here. So one is going to have nothing on it, and then one is going to have this delay, dry wet all the way up, no feedback, turn off the filter, and then you're just going to make this like really fast, like anywhere from 10 to about 50 milliseconds. And you can hear it sets this apart from the other elements, and we can even bring it down a little. Alright, and this lead's another one that needs a little bit of magic, like just less side chain, more high pass. And I'm not listening super loud either. Like, if you actually heard how loud my speakers are right now doing this, it's like not near club volume at all. It's super quiet. I think you want to get it good quiet, and then it'll sound even better loud. But if it sounds really good loud, it doesn't always sound good quiet, right? So then we can go ahead and grab these effects. I'll just bring them all in one by one, right? So we got this like... Get the crash up. Make sure the noise is good, and we can move on to mastering. Now, the first step for mastering is going to actually be finding the loudest part of the track, which will be probably right here. And we're going to check right here and make sure. Now, I actually have some stuff on the master at the moment. We're going to check right here and make sure. So we want it to be about like this. You can see it jumped up to -2. It's hitting like -4, -5 realistically though. And then this is like a perfect place to start mastering the track. So the first thing I like to do usually is just grab an EQ and do a cut at, you know, the 20/20 cut, one at 20 hertz and then one at 20 kilohertz. So you're just cutting the frequencies where you couldn't really hear, but there is like a bit of stuff that if you cut it, you can get more headroom basically for mastering. Now from here, you can go a lot of places. I am actually going to turn everything up just a little bit. You can go a lot of places though, depending on what you like to do for mastering. I like to keep it really clean, to be honest with you, you know? I mean, I've definitely shown you guys before, like using a saturator or maybe like a little bit of multiband dynamics. Right, which as you can hear, you can kind of make your track a bit more powerful this way. You can also mess your track up that way. So honestly, what I'm going to tell you guys for mastering right now, I think really, you know, a lot of people want to do all these different steps, and sure, like the different steps can help. But if you have a good track, all you're really going to need is that EQ and then the limiter here. The limiter is not to fix clipping though. As you can see, we're not even near clipping. It's just to get our track volume up louder and like kind of hitting 0. This might be a little controversial too, but if you want, you can even take your EQ, like sometimes I'll even cut it up at like 30. And so you can somehow get it a bit louder when you do that. And then you can also do a bit of mixing at this stage too. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, obviously you hear things different when they're up loud like this. Yeah, this is usually when you can really hear those drums. You can also use the color limiter from Ableton. I think that one works really well too. Like if you're just trying to use Ableton stock stuff, like check this out. It doesn't have, it's not as good though. And there we are. So that concludes this series, how to make a hard house track completely from scratch using my new Ultimate Hard House sample pack. The link to that is at the top of the description. Definitely go check that out, guys. If you enjoyed this video, it's got these awesome kits in here with Ableton files and all the individual sounds, plus all the individual samples and presets if you go into the Ableton files as well, to help you just get started today and make an awesome hard house track like this, the track of your dreams. I promise if you grab this pack, it'll help you take your stuff to the next level instantly. There's very little you can do right now to make better tracks today instantly, but downloading this pack really will do it. Check it out at the top of the description on my website. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.